Hi guys, my name is Ivo and I'm from mytestedasp.net. In this video I'm going to show you 10 Visual Studio tips and tricks which you probably don't know. So let's start with the first one. I have opened a kind of big solution in Visual Studio so that we can test with it and see my examples. The first one is an enhanced copy-paste feature which allows you to save more than one copied line. Let me show you. For example, if I copy this line, then copy this line, then copy this line, on each line I'm hitting Ctrl plus C. Then I copy this line and finally I copy this line. If I go here and hit Ctrl plus V, that's the normal behavior in which I get a paste from the last copied line. But if I hit Ctrl, Shift and V, I will see all the copied lines here and I can choose which one to insert in my cursor, which is kind of nice because when you do copy pasting from files, usually you have to go back and forth, and with this nice little feature you may skip that. Okay, the second one is the run to cursor, which allows you to create a temporary breakpoint. For example, if I hit run to cursor here, I can do it with Ctrl plus F10. My app will stop here like it has a breakpoint. It's a faster way to debug an application, and keep in mind that if you have an actual breakpoint and hit run to cursor, you hit both the red breakpoint and then the app will stop right there where my cursor was. Okay, next one, the third one. The third one is track the active file in Solution Explorer. If you have kind of big, if you have a kind of big project, it's getting difficult to track the currently opened file, to find the file, and so on. So, in order to make that thing easier, you should go to Tools, Options, General, no, Environment, General, and no, sorry, um, not Environment, but Tools, Options, Projects and Solutions, and you need to check this option, Track Active Item in Solution Explorer. This way, when you open a file, and then open another file, and then open another file, when you navigate to the files, you will see that the Solution Explorer will follow your selection, which is kind of nice and easy to navigate in bigger projects. Even if the Solution Explorer is collapsed, if you hit a file, it will automatically show it for you, which is a nice feature. Okay, next one is again with navigating. How to navigate faster when you have a huge solution. If you know the file name, hitting Ctrl plus T, like Tupac, will open this window here, and you can start writing to find the file you are searching for. For example, home controller, and it will show me all home controllers in my solution. And if I try to find the home controller I'm searching for, Visual Studio will show a preview of the file, but it will not open it and it will not pollute my tabs. So I can find the home controller I'm searching for, and I can open it directly. It's a very nice feature which is very useful in bigger projects. Control plus T, like Tupac, and writing down the file you're searching for. Check out controller, for example, and you're getting a nice little preview to see whether the file you're currently selecting is the file you're looking for. Mentioning the tabs and the windows in Visual Studio, there's an option to uh, make that tab life easier for you. And that's the fifth tip I'm going to give you. Usually when developers are developing in a solution, they open a file, they open another file and another file, then they open another file and another file and so on. And this panel here containing all open code files gets polluted easily. So I have two suggestions here. The first one is to turn on the pin tabs to be on a separate row. So that's those options. Then environment, tabs and windows, and here it is, show pinned tabs in a separate row. If you turn that on, because by default all pinned tabs are not on a separate row, and if you pin a tab, nothing happens. It's pinned, it gets to the left, like here, but it's not visually good enough to be helpful. So those options, environment, tabs and windows, show pinned tabs in a separate row, and now it's easier for you to close all but pinned tabs, and this is how you can separate your windows as important and not that important, and it will be easier for you to navigate. And as a bonus to this fifth tip, I can give you that if you one click a file, because usually developers double click it, but with double click you open the file. And opening the file starts polluting very fast the tab windows here. So what we can do is to single click files and do our work here, and then single click another file, do our work here, and so on. With single clicking a file, Visual Studio won't leave the tab open. For example, if I open iDateTime Provider, it's in preview mode here, and I can do my job, and then I can click another file, and this one will not, the previous one, the iDateTime Provider, will not pollute my windows here. So it will be cleaner and easier for me to work with. Of course, if I need the file to stay open, I can always promote it to become a normal tab, and then I can always pin it. So that's all about the tabs and the windows. Two tips here: preview them with a single click and make the pinned tabs on a separate row. It's a life-changing experience, trust me. Before we continue with the sixth tip I want to give you, I would like to thank my sponsors. As you may already know, I'm creating open source projects during my free time, and these projects are sponsored by a couple of companies. These companies are Bellatrix, ReSharper, Softuni, SmartIT, NobleHire, and 1Bit Software. Thank you guys. You're truly great, and I'm very happy you're sponsoring my projects because You motivate me to continue providing free knowledge on my YouTube channel, and you give me a reason to continue developing my open source testing tools. You guys rock. And if you're developing with ASP.NET, you may try my tools. I have testing tools for both ASP.NET Core and the old ASP.NET Web API. These tools are quite powerful and have a lot of useful features, so make sure you check them out. Now let's get back to Visual Studio. The sixth tip and trick, sixth trick I want to give you guys is code cleanup. The code cleanup can be done with Control K and Control E. As you can see, my usings got sorted. Let me return that. Control K, Control E. This code cleanup tool is configurable and it's available here. You can run it from this button, and you can run it with Control K, Control E. But you can configure code cleanup and you can specify what to be done on every code cleanup actions. For example, you can say that you want to apply this qualification wherever it's missing. So I can add it to the code cleanup actions. I can say that I want to make all private fields read only when possible. I can remove unnecessary casts, and so on and so on. Remove unused variables. There are a couple of options here. You can download other ones from the internet, and also you can configure. Let me find it. Text editor. So those options, text editor, for example, C#, code style, and you can specify the code styles you want to use in your project. For example, whether you want to use this or not, whether you want to use var, whether you want to use braces on the different code blocks, and so on. You have quite a lot of options, and when you specify them here, the code cleanup is going to use these settings. The cool thing is that you can export these settings and apply them throughout your team with this editor config settings file. It's very nice. Okay, the seventh tip I want to give you guys is that you can have vertical selection. If you hold Alt and then slide your cursor down or right or left or whatever, you can select multiple lines, which allows you to write something on multiple lines. It's very easy, it's very convenient when you want to edit multiple places. For example, you have copied something and want to put a namespace before it, or want to put some comma or some sort of code mark here and there. You can do it by using the Alt and cursor selection. You can select a rectangle, you can delete it like this, for example, and it's very useful. So make sure you try it out. Also, as a bonus here, hitting Control D is like selecting a line, hitting Control C and Control V. So if you want to copy paste a line, the whole line, faster, just hit Control D. D like dimension. It's faster to copy lines like this. Okay, next suggestion, the eighth suggestion is how to improve performance on initial solution load. You need to go to Tools, Options, Projects and Solutions, and you can deselect Restore Solution Explorer Project Hierarchy State on Solution Load. This will improve your solution load initially, so you will have a faster startup time. So if you deselect it, you will have a faster startup time because Visual Studio won't save the solution hierarchy like this. And it's not that important in my opinion. You can further improve the performance by deselecting reopen documents on solution load. But I believe that's useful and I prefer to leave it turned on because I would like to have all my files on which I have worked open again when I restart Visual Studio. But the project hierarchy, I am not that, I don't think that's needed enough, especially when you can open the hierarchy again just by clicking on an open file. So that's the 8th suggestion. The 9th suggestion is, it's a cool feature. If you hit environment, so Tools, Options, Environment, Keyboard, and you can find Git Pull here. You can add a shortcut for Team Git Pull. I have already done that, so on my computer is Control plus Shift plus slash. So, for example, you can say I want to have Control plus Shift plus 0 to pull from the current branch. And this will save you time because if I need to pull a branch, I don't need to use Git for Windows or the CLI or Tortoise Git or whatever I'm using. I can just hit Control plus Shift plus 0 or plus slash or whatever shortcut I defined here, and I will have my branch updated automatically without needing to open the CLI or use an external tool, and I will save time. By default, there's no shortcut here, and if you hit a shortcut which is already used, Visual Studio will say that to you, and it will provide you a hint saying that you will remove this shortcut from here, and if you want, you can remove it. And the last one, the 10th tip I want to give you guys is when working with JSON files. If you have a JSON structure you want to make as a strongly typed .NET classes, you can easily do so. Let me just find an online sample JSON sample. For example, this one, or even this one. If I copy a JSON sample and hit Edit, Paste Special, Paste JSON as classes, Visual Studio will create classes from the JSON object and I can rename them. And then I can extract them to a separate class. It's very easy and fast way to generate C# classes which need to reflect a JSON structure. All I need here to do is to rename the properties to match my code style. So guys, I hope you liked my features and my small tips and tricks. If you like this video, make sure you leave a comment below saying that you need more features, more tips and tricks, because I know a lot Visual Studio tips and tricks and I'm willing to share them with you. So if you find them If you find this video useful, just tell me in the comments below. And what I want to say again is that everybody can become a sponsor or backer in for this channel or for my projects. People already back me on Patreon or Open Collective, so if you want me to continue providing you free education and free advanced C# topics, you may support me. Also, you may support me by giving one-time donation via PayPal. It's completely fine. I will be extremely thankful. And if you don't have the opportunity or just want to help me without any donation, you can share my projects with the people who developed with ASP.NET or just try it out for yourself, leave an issue, start it, whatever you want. I will be extremely thankful. Okay, guys, bye for now.